We are officially back, season 2, and I can see season 2 of the acid test now with video. It's going around the whole room. How are we doing, guys?
I'm good. We're going video.
We're going video. This is fantastic.
I spent an hour in hair and makeup just to get ready for tonight.
You look dynamite.
And I was going to say I look shit house, but
So I'm going to quickly go around the table, and then we'll catch up a little bit with what's been going on between everybody in the last few months. So, Luke, how are we doing? Sound off for me.
it's one thing I don't miss from season 1.
The highest noise I can make right there.
And Sean.
Was that the same?
Yeah, wow.
Can you hit it?
No! How are we doing? I hate this.
You got to stick in your wheelhouse. All right, so what's we got any news? What's been going on in the last few months?
News.
Yeah.
Who wants to start? Where do we start?
Crack the jet buzzins.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess a big, semi-important life event was I got engaged.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, thanks, guys. Yeah, basically, I now have one foot in the grave. No, no, I'm just kidding. Shout outs to my partner. I hope you're not
She
listening.
doesn't listen, and she certainly won't watch.
And she
Yeah.
has his headphones.
Yeah, she's got my headphones, so thanks for kicking it off.
Are you excited for marriage?
Like, that's a pretty broad question. I'm not. I don't know.
Excited to spend your life with...
With her? Yeah. Oh, well, of course. I didn't, propose
Already
because I hate
regret
her. I don't know.
married?
Look, personally, I think there's too much emphasis put on like marriage, like the title of marriage, because I think isn't 50% end in divorce.
Something like that.
Gonna break the statistics. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We just keep carrying on with my life as per the usual.
It's the same thing. It's just you have a ring now.
Yeah, I got some jewelry.
Yeah. Got some blang.
Yeah, and I'm not big on the bling, so
It's going to be all in diamond encrusted, isn't it?
sure. As long as it's not
I'm
expensive.
not big on bling, but I mean, look at this.
Yeah, it's going to be a real big fuck off ring. Really weird flex. But
Wait, did you propose without the ring or?
I proposed with a ring.
With a ring, okay.
With a ring.
Yeah.
And she likes it and her friends like it. So that's a pretty
put a
good
ring on it.
indicator.
That's half the
Literally.
battle done.
Pretty much. That's entirely the battle.
Yeah.
Not even half. That's actually the entire battle. Is that her friends are cool on it. So what are you guys? Brady?
Brady.
What's new with me? I, at 27, I got my license.
Oh!
Yeah. I drove here, no big deal. And there is wine in front of me, so that's going to be fun.
And we better finish before midnight so you can go home.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. There are, for those listening who are international, when you have your P plates, they're called, so you first get your license, you can't drive after midnight until 5 a.m. I think 5 a.m.
Something like that.
Yeah, 5 a.m. You have to be completely 0.00% blood alcohol. So the wine is staring at me, and I love red wine, so this is fun. Other than that, I got a big boy job.
Well done.
Congrats.
Kinda. And by big boy job, I mean I do less work and get paid more now, which is great.
It's a
Had
dream.
coffees with Sean over here
That's
in the city.
right.
I mean, getting paid, living the life. Other than that, nothing.
I mean, that's a life goal, man. You should be pretty stoked by that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Look, nothing much really happened to me over the summer. I pretty much just got Super Smash Bros. And just played that till... God.
Also a goal.
Also a big
God.
life event.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some would
take
argue
it,
you're
yeah.
winning life right now.
Yeah.
Some
I
would
mean,
argue
I'm
that.
winning at Smash Bros. Because I'm playing it so much. So that's
I remember
definitely-
being a kid growing up, thinking when I grow up, I'm going to get a Nintendo Smash.
Oh. A Nintendo Smash?
And that's
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
Play Smash.
To play
That's
Smash.
pretty much all I
I
use
mean,
it for.
really?
Yeah.
Do you even have any other games?
I've
Smash. Right?
I bought I bought that the box thing.
Oh, Jackbox?
Jackbox, yeah, that's pretty much it really. But something did happen to me actually last week, and it's probably one of the most embarrassing things that have ever happened to me. I know I've told you boys about this, but Brady hasn't heard this.
Okay.
Basically, I went to my mate's house for a poker night, and he just moved house. And so
Sean, you can't even hide it. There's no point hiding it anymore. People can see you laughing in the background.
As soon as Luke told me the story, I was like, dude, you have to put it on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't think you told me.
okay.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there yet.
Okay, there you go.
Cool.
And he gave me the address, and the number was 59A. So I'm like, brilliant, just rock up to the house, and it's 59A. So usually that's the front house of a group of houses.
Oh, I've been there
And-
before, if you remember.
Yeah. And so I walk up to the house, and the actual door is unlocked and open. There's the fly screen door, and that was unlocked. So I'm like, oh, well, you know, he knows I'm coming, so I'll just walk on in
You can already see where this is going.
and start walking through this house. And there's like this really nice chessboard and this like massive Al Pacino picture. And I'm just like, this doesn't seem like my mate.
This is a drug dealer's house.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is
maybe
so
like
weird.
Scarface.
Keep walking through the house and I'm just like, I can't hear voices. Something's not right. And I walk through to the living room and I just see this guy with like no shirt on, just lying on the couch. His girlfriend or wife comes around the corner and sees me and is just like, who are you? Like, get out of our house. I am so embarrassed. I'm just completely apologetic. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I walked into the wrong house.
That's
And
what they
just
all
like-
say.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And she was just like, no, get out of our house. And I'm just looking for 59A. And she comes down a bit and she's just like, oh, that's the back house. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. But you can still tell they're a bit on edge, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just walking out. And then to make it worse, I had this massive white dog. And as I'm like trying to walk out the door, this white dog is trying to like get out as well. I'm just like, no, not you. And they're just looking down the hallway and they're just seeing me manhandle their massive dog. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And I just rock up to my mate's house just in complete utter embarrassment.
Imagine the other way around. If you were just laying on the couch playing Smash, and someone just walks in the door and just like starts looking at you.
Well, yeah, look, to be honest, even when I have like the fly screen door, not like my wooden door open, it's the fly screen, I still lock it. Even though I live in a secure complex, you know, I still lock it. It's just
Yeah,
I
I'm the
can't-
same.
I can't have it unlocked. And yeah, I don't know. It was just what can you do?
How do they
Just
have
shit
both
happens.
doors unlocked?
Yeah.
That's cavalier. That's the word I would use.
Pretty much. So that was my summer.
That was wild. That was wild. I don't even know how I can, like back that up. I can't back that up.
Well, you had some stuff.
I had
haven't
some
you?
stuff. So the big thing for me was got a new job. I'm now working in the CBD.
Congrats.
Place
For
to
a
be.
large engineering company. So things are going pretty good there. But the main news is the state of my right leg, which now I'd like to try and get this on camera, but I don't know if it's going to be possible given the confines of this room. But I'll
feel
give
like
it
I'm
a crack.
gonna-
I'll give it a crack.
Break your other ankle trying to show that
I
one.
feel like I'm going to cop something in the head. Yeah. Oh, not in the elbow.
It's a fairly hefty unit. Like
That is a robo
So-
boot. That's
so-
Astro Boy's boot.
I've been wearing the moon boot for the last 5 weeks. I still got like at least another week to go with it. So I was playing futsal on AstroTurf, and basically the goalkeeper on the other team just took me out and fractured my ankle. A bit of the bone in my ankle like chipped off, so it's just floating around in my foot or something. And I've been stuck in a moon boot ever since. And so I graduated from crutches recently. So now I'm just hobbling around the city from A to B. And as you know, it's been quite hot the last few weeks. It's been like 38 degrees or whatever. It is absolutely death with the boot on. It is absolutely
Do they
death.
know if what's going to happen with that random piece that's just fallen out?
I don't know. I want
just
to
like, "Oh, you're
ask.
right, it'll be
Yeah,
fine."
I need to ask. I'm going back to the orthopedic doctor next week, so I'll pose the question to them and see if they give me an answer. I imagine it's going to be fine, but I don't know. Is it like, will I be able to feel it? I've not been able to feel it yet, but it's still so swollen. So yeah.
Damn.
So the soccer
But-
days are over now.
Before we go on to the topics, then we should also introduce the fifth person.
Oh,
Yeah.
Heyo.
I don't think we can get a
Yes.
camera on him, but do you want to say hello?
Hey guys,
Introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
Who are you? Who the hell are you?
I'm Sean's brother and these guys' best mate.
Are you going to give him a name or?
Nah,
All right, Sean's brother.
I'm an enigma. You might know me as Michael.
Fair enough.
Or T.
That too.
Just so in case for references later on, we're like, hey T. People know what we're talking
Or the
about.
stat man.
So
Or the stat man.
he's just going to be doing the stats for us and hopefully looking up some stuff while we're chatting away.
It's essentially going to prove us wrong when we talk
Yeah.
shit. And
Yeah.
we have absolutely no idea what we're saying.
Remember when this and then this happened? Actually, you're full of shit.
So setting the background, so many episodes last season, we would like ramble off stats which were incorrect, and straight like the next day, Mike would come to us and say, no, it's actually this, this, and this. And so we thought, you know what? Why don't you just join the show and
Yeah.
fix us while we're actually doing it?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
fuck you. Join the show instead.
Yeah, I think there was far too many times where we said, and don't quote me on this.
Yeah.
We can be quoted now.
Yeah, we can be quoted.
Yeah.
And then he will.
And we also have a fall guy now if we're wrong. So that's
Yeah.
him. We pretty much just brought on someone
pass
to
the blame.
handball the blame. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fallback guy.
Welcome to the team.
The punching bag of the team, it sounds like.
We can do this without you.
Well, shall we get started
Let's rock
then?
and roll.
All right,
shall.
Sean, what is your topic?
All right.
All right.
So ladies and gents, you will notice 2 cups sitting in front of you like these. Where are we? Like these.
right there.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the screen.
switch on, yeah.
I was looking at the screen,
not
not
used
at the
to it
camera. In each of these 2 cups, there is a glass of wine. So we have red wine in both of them, all right? They are different wines of different values. Our aim tonight is trying to figure out which wine is more expensive. So underneath your cups, there is an A and there is a B, and they relate to these.
You do a lot of testing in your job.
I do. I am literally in charge of inspections. So yes, there is a lot of testing involved. We have wine A here and wine B here. Okay. So we are progressively going to drink these wines. Please try to remember which cup you've drunk from and when. And we are going to figure out if we can find out which wine is more expensive. I know which wine is more expensive, but we're going to see if the group can. So what's your experience with red wine, everyone? Brett, what's your experience with red wine?
I am not a red wine drinker. I've never been a red wine drinker. I don't know why. I don't know. I've never really indulged in it. Even when we were in Italy, I didn't really drink a lot of red wine.
You're crazy.
It usually gives me a headache.
Yeah.
So
White wine does that to me though.
Yeah, so tonight should be in,
It's
absolute
the
chaos.
preservatives.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Apparently,
yeah.
if you get preservative-free
Yeah.
wine, it's sort of hangover-free.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about hangover free, but if you have like a couple of glasses, you won't have a hangover. If you have
Yeah.
4 bottles, probably still.
You won't have a hangover. It's that
Imagine
good.
that. Oh, goodbye.
Luke?
I'm actually going to a wine tour on Saturday
Nice.
for the first time ever. So
Yeah,
that'll
I've
be a
never
lot
been
of
to
fun.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like they're just an invitation to get really rowdy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's every weekend. No?
Well, this will be a precursor to that.
But I don't usually drink red wine only because it makes my teeth and my lips stained.
yeah.
That's
Red
the
wine.
only reason.
That is the only reason. But I froth a good bottle of red wine and it gets you nice and happy drunk.
It really does.
I mean, he is
especially-
on camera now as well, so he's got to worry about the stained teeth.
State of the teeth.
Yeah, come on.
I've got the
Sean.
pot filter to hide
Yeah.
my mouth. So
The teeth filter.
the teeth filter, yes, exactly. But I had a jug of sangria on Saturday night as well.
yes, you did.
Jug.
Yes, you did.
So not quite red wine, but similar properties.
See, that was nice, though.
Yeah.
That was my first time having sangria, and
I fucking
I didn't
hate
get around.
sangria.
See, that's nice.
I agree with you, Brady.
Yeah, sangria, it tastes like child's wine.
I know it's kind of fruity. I think that's why I liked it, though.
Yeah, it's very light.
Well,
It's very light.
shall we kick this thing off then?
Yeah.
In my hands, I have bottle A. What we're going to do is find your cup A.
Out of curiosity, Sean, how much was what's the discrepancy
value?
between the bottles?
The
Yeah.
discrepancy between the bottles is around $20.
Okay.
Which is significant when it comes to
Now, when you
wine.
say
Yeah,
20,
true.
is like one being 10 and one being 30? Or?
We're looking at 20 and 40.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
okay,
So
okay.
even the $20 one, that's not a terrible bottle.
Yes. Well, I didn't want something that just tastes like nothing because then it'd be too obvious.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the cheaper one, so the $20 one, is actually very, very good for its price range. It's from a very reputable winery. And it's been aged for about 5 years, so it's ready to go. So, all right, with your A, get your A. We're going to try to find out the aroma. Okay. Put the
Episode 1, aroma,
all right,
smelling.
before you take a sip, before you even take a smell, give it a bit of a stir on the desk. All right, just get a bit of bit of gyroscopic motion going.
I've never felt more pretentious.
Good. Welcome
Wait.
to
Hold it up and
wine
look at the bouquet.
101. Well, unfortunately, I don't have 10 wine glasses, so we're going to have to go with the old flip cup cups or beer pong cups. I can assure you there is wine in here. Now, all right, we gave it a bit of spin. All that does is help add some oxygen to the bouquet, and
Is that what it actually does?
yes,
Yeah.
it oxidizes the wine.
Yeah, right.
That's why you can get, what do they call it? I forgot what they call it. I have one at home. You put wine in it, essentially, and it just
Yeah, a
oxidizes.
decanter.
A decanter, yeah.
So the process of decanting it helps it, bring out the flavors and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so take a sniff. Let's see if we can identify any of the flavors or smells.
Smells red.
Yeah, I'm going to say it smells like wine. Yeah.
My sense of smell is very bad, so I can't pick up anything. What about you guys?
I'm getting a bit of leaves.
I'm getting dirt.
Yeah, leaves.
We need some
Am
coffee
I-
beans to, really, because coffee beans,
It's like it
palate cleanser.
neutralizes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, leaves and dirt.
it's a good one then.
Wow, I'm so excited to drink this.
Is that what we're meant to be
A
getting,
is-
Sean?
A is clearly the
That is
$40 bottle.
absolutely not what you're meant to be getting.
Wait, let's have a proper sniff.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that in my life.
To be fair, I'm not actually getting any of the ingredients in this thing.
I
So,
can smell it, but I don't know what it smells like.
Ibuprofen.
well, this is a futile process right now.
Robitussin.
Can we draw? Yeah, draw.
Smells like lean. Yeah.
Lean. All right, we're taking a sip.
Yep. So progressively drink it throughout the night. See if you can get any flavors. How does it taste straight off the bat?
Good.
Cheap.
Yeah. Tastes cheap to you.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait for this
Yeah,
to be the $40
a
bottle.
bit bitter. Yeah.
Bitter. Yeah. So as the wine ages, as it sits, and as it continues to react with the air, more flavors will start releasing. So it should become smoother. What about the tannins? You guys know what tannins are? So how many tannins in a wine is basically, you know, when you drink a wine and you go sort of like.
Yeah.
So the more you do that, the more tannins it has
If you
essentially.
get that really rough tongue,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of tannins.
What's,
Yeah.
What does it do again?
So it makes you go like this.
Cool. Just checking.
So yeah, so if you take another sip, Brett, do you get that feeling or not?
No.
That's quite
That was a very
it's
smooth no.
Quite a smooth wine then. Let's do it with the other one quickly before we go into some of the
like
other topics. So get
wine
your cup
B?
B. Yep.
Okay.
Appreciate the bouquet firstly.
So
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
give
my
it
bad.
a bit of a spin.
Just so used to just drinking.
Just getting it inside.
Yeah.
So what you should find with this one is a much stronger tasting wine, just because of the different.
Are they
grape.
both Merlot or
No, one's Cab Sav, one is Shiraz. So
Okay.
you might be able to tell me the
Yeah.
difference. That's like an added bonus.
Ah, really? So they're not even the same grape? You expect us to tell the difference, and then
You'll be able to tell the difference.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like an added challenge. Can you find any tannins? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more in that one. for
More?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that suggest to you then?
That's shit. Also, both shit.
No. Well, what type of berry does that suggest to you then?
Maybe raspberry?
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. then.
Blueberry? Shit. I
No,
don't know.
Shiraz or Cab Sav?
Oh, I'm going to say, if it's more like that, I'm going to say Cab Sav. No?
We'll leave it to the end.
Okay.
All right, Brady, what do you got for us?
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a natural progression. I'm going to be talking about prostitutes.
Yeah. Right.
Wine essentially leads on to prostitutes. I mean, I've heard. Okay, let me just.
I mean, there
pull
was
this
that one night in.
All right, so I'm going to be reading off this. Now that you can see that, I'm just reading off my phone for efficiency's sake. All right, so my first topic of the season is around prostitution, the legalities of it, and also the ethical questions that are raised. First off, I want to riff off a few interesting facts, and then I'm just going to open it up. So, authorities in Sweden say the number of women on the streets in the prostitution area in Stockholm has fallen from 700 to 800 to 200 women since legislation was introduced in 1999 to oppose it. Now, this could be false information due to prostitution no longer being regulated, in my opinion. Hence, the tracking could be a bit more vague. You know what I mean? Also, in some countries, the government pays for sexual surrogates. This is a very interesting sort of fact because people don't necessarily think about sexual surrogates when they think about prostitutes.
What is a
Yeah.
sexual
Can you
surrogate?
define it?
So, a sexual surrogate is basically someone who might be disabled and cannot physically perform the act of sex but still wants to have sex.
Oh.
So can you give us an example?
I'm going to repeat myself. Somebody who like is physically they are unable to have sex. They
Yeah.
might be a quadriplegic or something,
Yeah.
but they still want the gratification of having sex.
So how do they get that?
A prostitute.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So somebody, they're almost more nurse prostitutes at that point, you know, because
Yeah.
they're not just going in and just, I mean, you can see everything, having a tug, but they're actually performing a service.
But if they can't,
Never did I think that I'd hear the words getting a tug
they can't-
on the podcast.
if they can't have sex, how are these nurses?
Because
getting it
some
done?
people, even if they're paraplegic, quadriplegic, can still get erections and feel.
They just can't. They just can't.
Yeah, they just can't move.
Yeah.
They can move, but they can't move how they would like.
Ah.
Yeah. So some countries,
Right.
the government actually pays for that because they think that that's a right, that everyone has the right to have sex if they choose to. But if you physically cannot have sex because you are disabled, then they assist you with that.
It must be a very demeaning job for the nurse.
I think a lot
imagine.
of from my own personal research, I think
How did you conduct this research?
I was out in the streets.
I was going to say, what's the safe search on?
History deleted. And no, it was, from what I read, a lot of the people are actually nurses in their everyday jobs, but they are just really empathetic people. And so they understand that these people need something that they are willing to give them. And yeah, I couldn't do it, but I can see someone who's more empathetic than I am doing something like that.
I guess at a really basic level, it's just providing a service.
Yeah.
It's just that the nature of the service is kind of taboo.
Yeah, that's probably a good way of describing
You know.
it.
Oh, it's taboo, all right. Okay, so prostitution, here's a few more facts, is legal and regulated in 22 countries out of the roughly 200 countries we have. And that estimates to around 40 million prostitutes in the world.
That's crazy when you put the figures out like that.
40 million.
It's more than the population of Australia.
That's,
I mean-
that's about double Australia, right?
All of Australia is prostitutes. That's
1.5.
26 million right there. Of these 40 mil, around 2.5 million are expected to be via sex trafficking. So
Okay, that's not really as
Trafficking,
surprising.
okay, yeah.
yeah. So sex trafficking is probably the biggest case for anti-prostitution. But to be honest, banning prostitution would just mean the window for sex trafficking would be wider, as people would now have to go underground to find a prostitute. Less regulation would basically equal more opportunity for this sort of corruption. This is a really damning fact. The average age for prostitution, let's have a guess.
Oh, I know it's going to be like a lot longer than I want.
Yeah.
Like,
16.
Yeah, the fact that you mention it like that.
yeah.
16?
Yeah.
I was going to say, 15, 16.
I was going to say 17 until you.
All right, the
Maybe,
average age
yeah.
for prostitution is 13.
Oh, that's...
And
Man,
that
fucked
takes
up.
that's the average. So that takes into account some are older, but more frighteningly, some are younger.
Jeez. So that's where you're looking at like the hell dodgy countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Middle
People-
East and stuff.
Yeah, and even in parts of Africa, and I mean,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, there's no real proof, but even the mega wealthy in completely first world countries have sex slaves and things like this.
Oh,
Apparently
yeah.
apparently it's normal, which is fucked up. So estimates say that 1 in 10 men have paid for sex in their lifetimes.
Wow.
10%.
1 in 10.
That's surprising.
That seems huge.
Is it surprising though?
And then I said, seems staggeringly high, but also believable.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things that seems to be, in terms of, we'll say it's how it's portrayed in like movies, is it something that happens, I guess, more regular in maybe like the corporate world?
Yeah.
That's, I guess, the vibe I get from...
yeah.
Yeah.
Bad example, but we'll say like movies like Wolf of Wall Street and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, there's lots of money
Yeah.
and not a lot of stuff to spend it on. So
Yeah, they
it's
can afford it.
like,
And I'd also go ahead and say like we're not ugly guys.
Yeah, I was about to say,
You know,
Oh!
we don't have those problems. Like
a couple of
we-
good-looking roosters over here.
Yeah, couple of horses.
Cockle-doodle-doo.
The 5 horsemen now.
yeah. That is definitely. Imagine if you were, even if you had not a deformity, but you just had that lack of ability just to talk to people. That you know, I find girls are a lot more receptive to people who talk rather than how they look. That's why I talk shit so much,
Well-
and my girlfriend hates it.
also, weird question, sorry, but like, let's just throw this out there. So, let's say you're in a committed relationship. If you like pay for a prostitute on the side for one night, is that considered cheating?
100%. Of course it is.
I obviously think it is. I'm just curious to see, like, well,
That's not even a question.
No, I know, but like, obviously, it's so prevalent. 1 in 10, right? So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that there's a good portion of
Oh,
that who
yeah.
are in relationships.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like, do you think that?
Oh yeah.
Like, if you guys obviously
Absolutely.
see it as cheating, but would you say that maybe those 1 in 10 would?
Yeah, I think they would see it as cheating, but I think it doesn't stop them. Maybe they're in a bad marriage. Maybe they're a bad
Yeah.
person. Like they just want something more.
But then
Like,
there,
it's still wrong.
yeah,
Unfulfilled. Who
there
knows?
also might be some couples that are okay with that have open
course.
relationships.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or seek it potentially.
Yeah,
Like an outlet?
yeah.
Like an outlet. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like an
outlet
I
of-
was thinking like an outlet store, just full of
Imagine that, like, you know, you're going to check out Kmart? No, I'm going to the prostitution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
outlet.
just ducking down a skinny lane in Amsterdam.
I'll have this one, thanks. Just ring it up.
Speaking of Amsterdam, I guess, we've all been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Live there, yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, right. So I guess it's kind of scary that there's something like, what's the section actually called, Brady?
The red light district.
Yeah, red light
Yeah.
district. It's saying, well, it's crazy that something like that is so commercial, we'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a hotspot.
They make
in
a
Amsterdam.
ton of
Yeah.
money out of that. And there's a lot of, when I was living there, there's a lot of people that say most of the girls there are just like 17, 18-year-olds from Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
who've
yeah, like
come in.
Bulgarians and Romanians and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And they come in and they don't speak Dutch or English, and they just kind of get pimped out a bit. It seems a bit sus, but I think the government gets a lot of money from taxing them. And
And they go through safe practices there as well.
yeah, I mean, you'd hope so.
Yeah, you would.
Okay, so lastly, about 80% of prostitutes say that they have been raped.
Jeez. Yeah, well, I mean, that probably comes with the job description.
So it's
unfortunately.
frighteningly like unsurprising.
Jeez.
Yeah,
which
it's
is-
like being flipping burgers and being like, I got spat with the grease. Like it's gonna happen. And as much as I don't want it to happen, it's
Yeah, what an example.
that
Wow.
is wow, one hell of a
that metaphor was a little bit rough. All right, so I've got a couple of questions. Currently in Australia, I didn't even know this. Prostitution is legal in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and ACT.
Huh.
I say not here.
Yeah, so all the East Coast basically,
Yeah, right.
except for us. Apparently,
So the majority of the country, essentially.
the majority of the less important part of the country. Yeah.
But in WA, like you can have what is it, like escorts?
Yeah, it's
Because
a
like
bit
I remember
rare.
when I was younger, like at
Oh,
the,
okay. Tell us the story.
So reading like the newspaper, I would always read the back, the back parts of the sports section.
Yeah.
And once there's probably like 10 pages of sport, we'll say. And if you go a little bit further, there's like the car ads, and then there's always those ads where you can like
Tune
call
something else.
Oh, the classifieds.
Is that- yeah, is that what
they're
it's
still
called?
in the paper
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
So like I don't get.
not literally
look,
today, these days, 2019. Yeah.
Sean was just trying to find a friend. Yeah, like that's something that's just so
Yeah,
common.
it's-
I don't know. It's kind of weird that that's thrown into like.
It's a grey area, isn't it? And massage parlors.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a big
Back
one.
is killing me. Not my front though.
Even though like you drive around Perth,
Not anymore.
you drive around Perth and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and there's a lot of massage parlors that are open.
Yeah.
If they got neon lights,
Neon
and it's got
signs,
open.
Oh,
at-
yeah. They're very obviously like open for business, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they started. They just started. 10 o'clock. We're open.
Yeah, I'm clocking
Just,
on for the night.
Just to chime in, boys. I'm looking at a little infographic here on Wikipedia, and it
Yep.
seems like so sex work is entirely legal and regulated in Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, and Victoria, like you said. And
Statman paying off already.
independent sex work is legal, but brothels are illegal. Prostitution is not regulated in WA, Northern
Oh.
Territory, South Australia,
You can freelance, be a prostitute basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
The hell?
Freelance hoe.
Get your ABN.
Yeah. Underline
right.
of work.
Well, I mean, it's a
What do you
business. Like it's like I said, at the very
Yeah.
basic level, it's a service.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's up to the discretion of the actual person themselves. If that's
absolutely.
the case, they're their own boss.
Yeah.
But then there's so much more risk. Like that's where your rape statistics come into play. It's like all of a sudden
no
there is some
protection.
dodgy guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's negatives to every job. It's just that those obviously associated with prostitution are a lot more, a lot harsher and a
Yeah.
lot more. It's unfair. There's less guidelines for them to fall under.
My question that follows this one up was a little bit answered by Mike. Why do you guys think it's legal and regulated on the East Coast, but not in WA and South Australia and Northern Territory and Tasmania?
I guess those states are seen as more progressive.
Yeah, and small population in general. So just more stuff can go wrong, maybe, if that's an overgeneralization.
I don't know if you could say progressive because progressive countries like Sweden have banned it, and they're much more progressive than I'd say we
more,
are.
yeah. Why is it regulated over there? I have no idea.
It's a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Maybe there's more foreign people over there, so there's more chance for trafficking and stuff like that.
who knows?
Yeah. All right, next question. Do you guys think that if we as a country banned prostitution across the board, the amount of sex trafficking would decrease?
No. It's just like drugs. Like, drugs are still prevalent and they're illegal.
Yeah.
Probably like the most prevalent they've ever been, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, people will find ways. They'll use the dark web as well.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
buy
it is.
people.
Well,
I mean, you can physically there's mail order bride services. Like you can literally
Yeah.
buy a wife.
yeah.
Yeah. Farmer wants a wife.
You know what I
Add to
mean?
cart.
If my partner and I hadn't worked out, I could have just hit up the internet. Like, yeah.
Shit. All right. Last question. Oh, handy. Should we alternatively regulate it everywhere, have very obvious rules and age limits, but be incredibly stringent and strict about it? And then after that, if people choose to be a part of that world, well, then it's their choice.
I think some people turn to prostitution out of necessity, so for money,
Sure, yeah.
and that's possibly mainly. Well, you can't really say possibly mainly. That's largely due to drugs. I imagine people want their fix of ice or whatever, sell their body. Well, yeah, and that's when you encounter junkies and whatnot, and that's when it becomes extremely difficult to regulate. So, I think there is a lot of risk when you come to that.
On the counter argument to that, I follow an escort on Instagram. She's
You
actually well, yeah. surprisingly, my girlfriend got me onto her because she's actually she goes to uni and like studies, I think, writing or something like that. And before she
Sorry,
was
riding, you said?
writing,
Jeez, I mean,
She's already got her PhD.
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
but
Masters.
she was a stripper just to take care of this like the bills and her like uni bills and stuff. And then she got into what is it, like bondage like stuff, and became an escort, and she loves it. And you know, she finds it very empowering and stuff. So while there are people, Sean, how you were saying, like, you know, are desperate for money and, you know, have drug addictions and stuff, there's other people on the other side of that spectrum who generally actually like the line of work. So, yeah.
That's the same thing with porn, really.
Yeah.
A lot of porn stars and like women in porn get a lot of shit because, you know, they're being manipulated and used and stuff. And to some extent, a lot of them are. But there's 100% a population within that just love having sex and getting
Yeah.
paid for it.
Yeah, but there's that empowerment side of it. So
Yeah.
obviously those women are empowered.
Yeah.
And they've obviously got like that chick on Instagram obviously has like a good client base or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, she's looked after. She's not going to get raped or whatever. Otherwise, because it's to the detriment of their client or
Yeah.
her client. They probably have to pay a deposit. I don't know, that there's probably security cameras or whatever to make sure nothing bad happens.
Deposit for the goods. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
you
thinking
never
about
know.
this,
You
like-
never know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there'll be safety, like, you know, repercussions. For sure.
She does still get her fair share of bad clients.
Really.
Yeah. And she shames them on her Instagram. She'll just post like screenshots of texts and stuff like
That's
that.
the only thing that
Yeah.
she can do, really.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much every industry you will get a client.
Yeah, I
that-
mean, you can write a bad review on any restaurant you go to. Like,
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Any service provided, you can write a good or
Yeah.
bad review from.
But I
They
don't
just fuck you in a different way.
Yeah.
whack. But I don't think there is one industry you can work where you won't be working with people who can be difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever you
Is
want.
it?
Yeah.
Is it the moral story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
it is.
people get paid, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, actually, you know, before we end this, I got a question. Let's say all of you guys are single. Would you ever pay for an escort or a prostitute?
No, I would not. No way.
It's tannins.
I've been single a while, and
yeah,
never
you've
even
been
crossed my
struggling
mind.
from what I've heard. It's been a hard few months for you.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't, because, again, this comes back to what Sean said. We're all just good-looking guys. It's not that difficult. From what I've heard, I've been in a relationship for ages now.
I wouldn't because I just wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's just not what I'm about.
that's one thing I will say. I've had what would be considered anonymous sex once in my life, and I fucked worst sex in my life. I hated it. So that's one thing you need to have, in my opinion, like
As in like a
connection.
one-night stand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with someone
right.
I didn't really know, and wasn't a fan. So I'm really, myself at least, someone that needs to have some sort of connection with this person. I can't just go, here's $20, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be weird.
Right on.
So I guess I'll talk about my topic. now.
Yeah.
And
Let's rock and roll.
pretty much.
Almost
I'm-
done sex, drugs, and rock and roll coming up.
Yeah. I'm going to be talking about, literally how rock music isn't exactly the most popular style of music anymore. And, you know, people are always saying, and it's mostly baby boomers are always saying, you know, who will save rock and roll? In my opinion, I think it's run its course. And I don't know if you guys have heard of a band called Greta Van Fleet. No?
I have. Yeah.
The name rings a bell. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to tell you any songs by them.
I think they had a number 1 album on the rock charts, on the Billboard rock charts. If you listen to them, I cringe when I listen to them because they sound like an absolute rip-off of Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I've heard about them. Yeah.
Yeah. You listen to it, and it's just like, that's Led Zeppelin. And I think Wolfmother did, you know, a similar thing 10
Tame
years ago.
Impala got a lot of shit for sounding just like the Beatles.
Black Sabbath and
What's his name? Kevin Parker. His
Yeah.
like voice sort of being like
John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Yeah.
John Lennon,
And, you know, you can have like those little influences in music all the time, but I listen to Greta Van Fleet and it's just like, well, this has been done before. This is just a Led Zeppelin rip-off band.
Cover.
Yeah, pretty much. And what I'm saying about rock music is just let it die. Just let it rest
Why do you
in
have to
peace.
go and let it die?
Oh, there's a good.
Hey.
Smart man once said.
That's a good example, though. Foo Fighters would be. I mean, they're not really at the peak of their career, but that's a good example of current rock music.
Yeah, and it's great, and people love going to Foo Fighters shows. But when was the last time you heard Foo Fighters on a mainstream radio station? Like I'm talking, and this is in relation to Perth, like 92.9 or Nova or something like that, which play mostly like top 40 stuff.
Yeah, but there are mainstream 94.5 and 96 FM are mainstream radio. They play Foo Fighters.
Yeah, but they play the classics.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
play the classics as well. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, just because it's a different. Yeah, look, okay, I know where you're coming from
Yeah.
with that.
Mm.
You know, just because it's not on the
not pop culture, really.
the top 40 sort of radio stations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess what it gets. Let's try that one again.
Oh, yeah?
What Luke's saying, I think, is that like they're not playing the Foo Fighters' last album; they're playing their hits.
Yeah.
So they're still living in the past of the Foo Fighters. Is like
Yeah.
heyday is not the right word, but you know where their
Yeah.
peak was.
They
Yeah,
peaked.
I couldn't name any of their new songs.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that rock isn't so much, dying. It's actually becoming a lot more underground. And I watched this really good video by a guy called David Bennett Piano, which I found on YouTube, called When Did Rock Become Pop? And he does this great analysis of the popularity of rock music from the 1960s. Like he goes back to he does this analysis where he looks at all like the top charting albums from the 1960s, like you had the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and then you go into the 70s where you have like Boston and Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that. You see a short decline in the 80s where you've got like
Disco and
yeah,
shit,
and like Arithmetics and all your sort of like
Michael Jackson.
like your first sort of
Man,
electro
Yeah.
sort of starts to come in. And then towards the late 80s, you got, your glam rock and your grunge in the early 90s. And then late 90s, you start to see rock still prominent. And you got-
Alternative rock.
Yeah, and you got
Even
like,
punk in the 80s, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you go to the noughties, you got the Strokes, you got the White Stripes, you got Arctic Monkeys, Foo Fighters. So that's all like well and good. And then you hit 2010, boom, rock music hardly is in the mainstream anymore.
What would you say Tame Impala is?
Underground psychedelic music.
Yeah, I'd say psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you hit 2010 and Arctic Monkeys AM album was probably the most like up there with a lot of mainstream artists. You had, I think Pink Floyd had a really good top charting album.
Really?
I think it was just the remaster. Of,
No. Their new album. I mean, it was just what's his name, Roger Taylor. Roger Taylor? No, that's the Queen drummer.
Yeah.
What's the guy from Pink
what,
Floyd?
Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
No, it was David Gilmour. Either way. It would have been David Gilmour, but either way.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
Well,
yeah.
well, what about
Gilmore
Metallica
Boys.
have had 6 number 1 chart-topping albums?
They're metal,
Yeah, okay, so that doesn't count as
Yeah.
under the rock category.
pretty much.
We're talking semantics
Get your
now, are
horns
we?
out.
Well, yeah. But that's classified as like heavy music.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
fair,
exactly
fair.
call
Yeah,
it
that's
rock
fair.
music. And so what he then does in this video is he compares this same timeline of rock music to jazz music. So you look at jazz music and early 1900s, a lot of jazz music that like they were the pop stars at that time. Billie Holiday. That's all. Mike, can you look up some jazz musicians, please? I can't remember some.
Most are like the big popular ones would be in the like 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
40s.
exactly.
Louis,
Yeah.
what was it? Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, yes.
Dang.
Even Frank
Berry.
Sinatra, you could probably call a jazz
It's almost
musician.
like
He was the big
blues.
band stuff. What you got for us, Mike? Miles
Miles
Davis.
Oh wow, yeah.
Chuck Berry is, no, no, no,
say
no,
Louis
no, no,
Armstrong?
no, no, no.
Louis
Yeah.
Duke Ellington as well. There's
Yeah.
Duke Ellington there.
Is that from
Dukes.
Big Mouth?
Oh, yeah, the ghost of Duke Ellington.
Pretty much. And then you hit the 1960s and rock music comes in and it declines. It
Yeah.
goes straight down. Sorry, not rock music. Jazz music goes straight down. But you still have jazz music today. You still see jazz music festivals. Underground. And, you still have popular jazz artists like Herbie Hancock. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Robert Glasper.
Nope.
He made some like really good music over the past 10 years or
listened to
so.
a few. I quite like jazz.
Yeah.
There are heaps of really talented people out there, but there's no platform.
Yeah, but it still has a following because people
Yeah,
connect with it.
it's cult a bit,
It's
though.
just not necessarily popular music.
Is this is a dumb question, but is Michael Bublé a bit jazzy?
He's like, I'd say jazz
Yes,
pop.
we're
or
getting
something.
nods from the stats man.
But yeah,
Lock it in.
I'd say
Yeah, but
jazz
he's
pop.
the exception.
He's
the
Christmas.
jazz pop.
Jazz pop. Shreds.
New wave jazz.
So now you fast forward to this present day where rock music is more underground, and you still got like big bands like you guys heard of Royal Blood?
Yeah, that was actually when you said 2010 it took a decline. I was going to say one band that I always think of that's sort of modern rock is Royal Blood.
Yeah. But again, you wouldn't hear Royal Blood on your Nova. You wouldn't hear Royal Blood on 92.9. It's
But that doesn't mean that they don't classify as rock. Where they're playing,
no,
it doesn't.
but you wouldn't classify it as pop though.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they are like, I guess I see the point you're making, but they're now pop stations because pop is.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
changed. Though.
yeah.
That's the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
And as well as Catfish and the Bottlemen. I don't know if you guys have heard
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
but I had the pleasure of watching them at the Falls Festival that just went past, and it was actually really refreshing to see a rock band consisting of drums, bass, 2 guitars, a singer, and no keyboard, no backing track, anything, just straight up rock music. You don't really see that when you go to festivals these
And they're a
days.
pretty big band.
White
Yeah.
Stripe still going?
No,
No.
pretty sure Meg White just
Yeah, she left the band, I'm pretty sure.
she couldn't perform anymore.
Dead Weather Project, whatever that he's.
Yeah.
Dead Weather.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
got his solo project. That's probably the most recent one.
That's pretty.
But even
that,
he's pretty jazzy and blues.
Well, I was going to say his like Jack White's new stuff is pretty rock orientated.
It is.
That's
but
pretty cool.
It's not popular though, is it?
Yeah.
But
That's the definition of pop has changed.
I don't think that
You know what I mean?
should
Yeah.
take away from the fact that what it sounds like. I don't think the popularity is relevant. Like I don't think the popularity of how big the song is or where it's played
I
takes
think-
away from sort of the prevalence of like the sound.
I think what Luke's trying to say is like, what is popular is now different.
Are
Like,
you mansplaining?
yeah, a man spreading as well.
Who
the
says
line.
men can't multitask?
Yeah. It's
That-
like
that is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
though.
pop
Yeah.
music. Pop was jazz or whatever, and then pop was rock. Now pop, as we know it, is just pop. But
It's like electronic and hip hop.
yeah, but
Yeah,
even when I
and
listen
pop.
to Nova, and
Yeah.
that, it's just like Ariana Grande
Yeah, but
kind of
yeah.
bullshit.
How long
It's
have
right.
How long have
Yeah.
Maroon 5 been in the top,
Oh,
top 10 of the
yeah.
Billboard?
How dare
Literally over 6 months.
You listen to their sound now, and you listen
Panic
to
at
their
the
first
Disco.
album.
Oh yeah, they've changed.
And same
wildly,
as
yeah.
Panic at the Disco
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Completely different sound to when they first started because that's just the change of the scene now.
Yeah, but I think when Tame Impala release their next album, which should be this year, like that'll be number one globally.
But it won't be pop.
it won't be pop. No, it'll be rock, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
But who knows? That
It-
last
okay,
album
maybe-
wasn't even
Yeah,
really
it was very
rock.
disco.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah. Kevin Parker calls it an electronic dance album.
Yeah.
but okay, it'll be in the rock charts. It will be in the rock charts
Yeah.
just because it's Tame Impala and they're going to be classified as rock. It'll go number one globally. It'll be, it'll go toe to toe with all the other songs that are out at the time. But does that just mean rock is dying a slow death?
I wouldn't say it's dying. It's just going underground.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it can die.
Okay, well, consider this. Now, I would have completely agreed with you until a week ago, and actually, I still do sort of agree with you.
Yeah.
But take a look at what Denzel Curry just released, which has gone viral globally,
yeah.
and that was his cover of "Bulls on Parade" by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And like, the dude's a rapper. He can scream, man.
Yeah.
That guy, he could like, if he started a rock band, if he started a metal band, he wouldn't be out of place. And everyone's just like frothing about his version of this song. Like there's still a crowd of people. There's still a desire for rock and roll because it just does something to you. It makes you move. It like
It's
makes
the
your blood
aggression.
start- Yeah,
I don't know, yeah,
the
it's the
speed of it.
passionate-
Yeah.
People kind of get that with wubs now, like dubstep and all that kind of shit, I reckon.
It's just-
Nah,
doesn't
that's
compare.
different.
Same way?
No, like
Alright.
I find like any music that's got some sort of like heavy edge to it, even if it's not like not screaming, but like that falls under the same category. Is it's got that drive and like that energy that's kind of, we'll say, unrivaled.
Okay.
And I don't know, if you go to see a band play, like I remember, like Luke and I, we went and saw Carnival play with T and a friend of ours at a festival like years ago, and we weren't really big on them. Like, well, one of the boys was, and I remember they played, and it was still the best band I've seen live. They've just had everyone eating out of their hand, and I reckon half the crowd didn't know any of their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was electric.
Yeah, they put on a great performance.
Yeah, and like you could just feel it like internally. It was
Yeah.
magic.
But especially with the Bulls on Parade video and with Carnival, the performance aspect is like people will still want to watch rock music and stuff like that. Especially with the Bulls on Parade video, that was almost like a nod to the song. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
It was,
paid homage. To
yeah,
the
to
homage,
pay
yeah.
homage. But no one would release something like that these days.
That song,
Yeah,
you reckon?
yeah.
I think they would.
Would they?
You wouldn't hear it though, probably.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear
What?
it. Yeah.
Name one popular rapper that would do a song with a guitar and a live drum kit.
Lil Wayne.
No, okay.
I've literally seen him do like songs where he pretends
yeah,
to know guitar.
he
but-
can semi-play guitar.
Post Malone can play guitar. There's videos like of him like shredding.
But this is all in the live aspect, in recorded, and when you're trying to sell a song. In my personal opinion, when kids hear a guitar, a distorted guitar, they immediately think of their parents' music.
Dad rock.
Yeah.
And they immediately think that's uncool. I don't want to listen to what my parents listen to.
No,
okay,
I would-
Yes.
depends how old.
You're wrong.
Oh,
Okay, wait,
someone who
check
I
the
think
stat.
might. I reckon
Yeah.
Childish Gambino could.
Yes.
Maybe he wouldn't
He could
nail
make
it.
it cool.
He wouldn't nail it the way Denzel Curry would, and you don't think he'd have that sort of energy. Like you could tell that Denzel Curry didn't have to practice that song.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he-
He knew it. Yeah.
He knew the words.
Oh, yeah, he was keen to do that
His
song.
timing, like when it came in, I don't actually know what the first lyric of the song
Come
is.
where they're now.
Yeah,
Bum.
he jailed that. Like I watched
man.
that like 5-6 times, like
Yeah.
pre-workout before
And
I
then-
trained.
yeah.
the other-
He wrecked it. But to your point, I'm going to disagree with what you just said before.
Okay.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are in Australia.
They're
coming
not
to Perth.
popular. They're not
They
popular.
are. They are so popular.
But they are popular.
Dude, it's
for
a
their-
sold-out
Pop.
tour.
We're talking about not talking about pop. We're talking about rock.
Yeah.
We're talking about rock. They've sold out every
Yeah,
single
but
show
wait.
in Australia. The average age at that concert will be like
30.
no, it'll be like
40.
20.
It'll be 40.
It'll be 20.
It'll be
Yeah,
40.
it'll be 20.
Dude, so many kids
Dude,
love the
it'll
Red
be
Hot Chili Peppers.
It'll be 40.
well, let's
Yeah.
go there and do a survey. Let's ask.
I've
every
got
single
tickets,
person.
so
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I will go there and do a survey, and
You do a
I'll get
survey.
back
You
to you.
do a visual
But
survey.
I guarantee you, the majority of people who are going there are going. If they were to release their latest albums out now, no one would go. They're going for their old albums. Their classic
that's
albums.
true. That is
Yeah.
true.
And the kids that are going, well, okay, I wouldn't call myself a kid, but the teenagers that are going, they're going with their parents.
nah,
They are.
Yeah.
I disagree.
In fact, I can back that up because I had a father and his 2 daughters come into work, and I work at a clothing store. We sell Red Hot Chili Pepper t-shirts, and they were on the hunt because they got tickets to it.
yeah, okay, you've got one example when there's going to be like, what stadium are they playing at?
NIB Stadium.
And they're only playing at NIB.
Yeah, because they're not huge.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because all the 40-year-olds are going to be there.
Even
So-
Foo Fighters only played at NIB.
Yeah.
Okay, it's only
So-
like 20, 30,000.
I feel like I've gotten my point across with that. I just feel like with rock music, there is absolutely no way that it can get into some sort of pop sense anymore. But I will say one thing, though, is that the spirit of rock concerts still lives on with modern day artists. And I went to the Listen Out Festival last year and saw Brockhampton. I know, Brett, you were there as well. Oof. And I made a big effort to get right into the middle of that mosh pit. And I'm really glad I did because that was probably the heaviest mosh pit I've been in since I used to go to hardcore shows back in the day. That was insane.
Yeah, I was on the outskirts of that watching in, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was.
And there was people falling, like at one point there was about 10 rows of people falling down, people crowd surfing, going fucking ballistic, man. It was actually insane. And I know there's a lot of rap artists today that still have that sort of live. And Denzel Curry is a perfect example. You go to his shows and it's like a metal concert. It's fucking nuts, man. So whilst rock music isn't alive on the charts, the spirit of rock music is still alive with rap artists at their concerts. And especially when I do go to Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, I know when I go there, the whole concert, the crowd is just going to be filming stuff. They're not going to be dancing or moving or moshing or anything like that because it's going to be full of a bunch of old people who don't want to do that anymore.
How good, like Californication and things like that, going to be though.
Oh, it's going to be great. But people are going to be singing and stuff and they'll be recording stuff, but they won't be like moshing to it or going nuts to it.
Do you know, like, this is a random left field tangent. I find like with rock, people have this inability to sort of grow and change as with the times.
Yeah.
Someone who is a perfect example who could do that was David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was someone that didn't sort of get thrown by the wayside for genres because he adapted constantly, created new personas, created new genres, and just sort of was able to be constantly current. Is there anyone like that at the moment? Because everyone sort of sticks to their guns a little bit.
Rolling Stones were
No.
pretty,
Not as much.
not as much, but they were still pretty popular till when they had Don't Want to Miss a Thing in the late 90s rather. And, that's 40 years of popularity. I still think
Rolling
that's...
Sto- Don't want to miss a thing.
That's Aerosmith. Right?
Aerosmith.
Oh, far out. No, not that.
Our local music
Oh my
expert here.
God.
Wow. Also, I hate that song by Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, they're sort of in a similar boat though, because
Yeah, but that was for a movie.
Stop,
though.
stop, stop, stop.
That was for a movie. So it's
yeah, but they were still popular. Anyways, I fucked that up because I got the song,
yeah, you
the
did.
source wrong. Anyways, but you know, especially with rock music, what more could people want out of the genre? That I think people have milked it for as much as it's
Yeah.
worth.
What's the new rock?
Yeah, it's rap music.
Rap?
Yeah, and
Rap
dubstep.
music with and with electronic.
To be honest, a fuse of hip hop and dubstep.
Yeah.
Like I love a good rapper over like
Rap step.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I love a good I love a good dubstep beat with like a rapper over the top. I don't know. That's got like a similar energy.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, Sean, should we find out about the wines?
Yeah. So, can everyone take a quick swig of Cup B?
Before you even say anything, I think this is the better one.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a minor headache from these, man. I
Can-
told you, red wine and me.
Yeah, it's placebo.
No, it's not.
Can anyone taste any plum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ton of it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
All right, Luke.
I've never eaten a plum.
Well, I can.
You
taste-
never eaten a plum?
Never eaten a pear.
What?
No, I've eaten a pear now. Yeah, no joke. I've never eaten a plum.
We're going straight to Woolworths after this.
This is like, yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Can anyone taste blackberry?
I can taste blackberry in every single wine.
I just taste like dark
Goodness.
berries.
What about spice notes? Any notes of
Spiced
spice?
notes.
I'm just reading the bottle here.
Oh, right. I was like, that's
No,
very.
I don't even know what that is.
It's really
Yeah.
profound, Sean.
Toasty oak.
Oof.
Well, now that you mention
yeah.
it, yeah, okay.
It's in the tannins, I can taste that.
Is that in the? That's in the B cup, right?
All right. So, okay. Let me unveil the wines.
Alrighty.
Wait,
Wine.
don't you want to hear what ones we thought were better first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that first. Doesn't
So,
really matter.
At first, I thought A was better, but then I changed my mind and B is better.
Okay.
I
Hold
think
on. Wait.
B.
Which one do you think's more expensive though?
B.
B,
Okay.
yeah, I think B is more expensive.
I liked A more.
Okay.
B is really bitter for me and leaves sort of a poor aftertaste. I'm gonna go wild cutting it. A is the more expensive one.
All right. And Statman Mike?
I think I prefer B as the night went on. Definitely.
It grew on me.
A started off stronger, but I think B, the more it's sat, the better it's gotten, and it's got more flavor. It's better.
I will have to agree with you on that. Now, wine A, I reveal, is the... Actually, okay. Who thinks wine A is the Cab Sav? Who thinks wine A is the Shiraz?
I don't know the difference.
Any
yeah,
hits?
I'd have no
I'm
idea.
gonna say I'm
Okay,
gonna say
sure.
Cab Sav is A actually.
Yeah, so Cab Sav is a bit lighter, a bit
Yeah.
fruitier.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more light on the tongue.
Yeah, I'd say that would be A then.
Yeah.
Then you would be correct in
Yeah.
assuming that. Wine A is the Cab Sav from Margaret River, so from Western Australia.
Yeah.
It is a Devil's Lair wine.
If we're
Cool
looking for
name.
sponsorship, Devil's Leg, hit us
Devil's
up.
Lair, hit us up. Hashtag.
But look,
The
to be
Acid
honest,
Chess Pod?
we're still waiting on Gauge Roads. So.
Yeah, we are still waiting on Gauge Roads. Next, we'll do the blind beer test. We'll just do like
Oh.
Gauge Road beers.
Actually, I could get around that because
It doesn't give me a headache.
it doesn't give me a headache.
All right, and wine B is a Barossa Shiraz. So Barossa Shiraz, so Shiraz wine from the Barossa Valley is the best Shiraz in the world. It's like the best Shiraz growing region in the world. And this here wine is a 2013 Fat Cat. So the Cat Amongst the Pigeons is a very, it's a well-known winery. It's a small winery, but it's it's got a very high reputation. You'd be surprised to know that wine B is the cheaper wine.
Wow. Yeah.
Did the non-drinking wine person nail it?
Yeah.
You nailed it.
You did say wild card, but
Look, I thought it was nicer. Like
Yeah.
B tasted really bitter. It tasted kind of cheap.
yeah.
Like
okay.
I wouldn't say that even if they were the same price, I would
Yeah.
say that B tasted kind of cheap.
Yeah. So, okay, so a Shiraz is always going to be more bitter. So you're like spot on. Well, not bitter, but like stronger. So you're like pretty spot on with that estimation. But the more experienced wine drinkers here, so yeah.
Literally everyone else.
Mike, Brady, and Luke, they were able to identify that as it oxidized more, the flavors sort of released more, which is what you're going to get with especially one that's been sitting down for 5 years. The flavor's going to come out and they're going to take a bit longer. So it's going to punch you in the face at first, but then it'll smoothen out after that.
80%.
And when you've got like such a reputable wine, you're going to get that sort of illusion. So this $20 wine is better than a $20 wine from like a bigger winery per se. So the Devil's Lair winery, which is wine A, that's a massive winery. That's huge. It's one of the biggest in WA.
Whereabouts is that?
So in the Margaret River region. I can't tell you where exactly in the region though.
Actually, I think I went there.
You probably would have. It's one of the biggest. It's definitely one of the most popular.
Yeah.
So the Cab Sav is going to be a bit fruity, a bit lighter on the tongue, but it just doesn't have that refined nature that you get with with a wine from the Barossa Valley, especially one from such a good winery. And so the cheaper wine was able to come across as sort of hinting at being more expensive just because it's possibly been handled a bit more carefully than one which has just been mass produced.
So it just proves that basically you can get quality for, not that much with wine, especially, I suppose. Like you can pay $20, get amazing wine. You can pay $100, get shit wine, or $40. But yeah.
It's better for my wallet though. If I prefer the cheaper wine over the
How do you tell? You have to buy 2 bottles of wine. You end up spending more.
Well, the one of the keys is to know your wineries, know the type of wine. I wouldn't. So this wine, the wine A was given to me, so like I'm not too fussed about it. Wine B I went and bought myself because I knew it was going to be a good wine. I wouldn't rush back to get the more expensive wine. I've had wines of the same value from Margaret River that have been better. It just seems a bit bland for a $40 wine. So I should probably explain, like I didn't know coming into this how these were going to taste as well. It's a blind test for me. I just happen to know the value of the wines. Generally across the board, you're probably safer with a Barossa or South Australian wine. It's just a more known region. But there's some fantastic wines in Margaret River. So like don't write off the region.
It's all shit.
This just happens to be an underwhelming wine. And I wouldn't say it's
bad drop.
Been aged too long, for example. I wouldn't say it's too young either. It's probably ready to drink, but it's just not there.
Well, Sean, I hope you like it because you got like 8 cups to finish up with.
I think we've done a pretty good job here tonight, to be
I
honest.
barely touched mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, not from you.
Yeah.
Should we get into some cool or not cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into something not cool.
Cool or not cool?
Skibbity-bop-a-doo. Ow. Skibbity-bop-a-doo. And you can see me as well. I keep forgetting that. All right, so I'm going to go straight into it. Cool or not cool? Pajamas. Going to go this way.
Cool, because you want to wear stuff to bed. Really?
No.
No?
I mean, it's what you think's cool or not
A
cool.
floaty boat.
I just wear like my undies to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to go back on that. Not cool.
All right, yeah.
I'm so indecisive.
wine.
I'm going to say... I'm going to give that a not cool. I don't wear pajamas. I haven't worn pajamas for years. I don't know how many years, but years. Yeah, just wear underwear.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
Although I do have some really cool ones with like slots on them, but I don't wear them.
With like slots in the back.
No, slots. No, well, I mean, they might have slots in the back. They don't. They don't. I should really.
I'm going to be the only one that says cool, but I only wear them in winter. In summer, it's way too hot in this country to wear anything more than underwear. In winter, wearing like flannel is elite. All right, next we have pineapples.
Cool. And I also enjoy my pineapples on pizza. Yes, you guys can come to me.
Next one's
hunt me
Luke.
down.
Cool or not cool? Not cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a not cool once again. I am not a fan of pineapple. I'm not a fan of pineapple on pizza. And I heard a fantastic quote a week or two ago was, if anyone gets caught having in public having pineapple on pizza, they should be taken out the back of their restaurant and flogged.
I think they've already been
I
flogged.
stand by that.
Not cool.
Not a fan of the pineapple.
Guys suck.
On their own, pineapples are great. I love pineapples. On pizza, go fuck yourself. Number 3, we have growing up.
Cool. Yeah, I like growing up.
The higher you go, the less I believe you.
I feel,
Yeah, that's actually scientifically proven. So the higher you speak, usually on like initial speech, is usually associated with lies.
well, there you go. Well,
I love it.
I much prefer my life now than to when I was younger.
Has your life changed in the last 15 years or just been playing Smash this entire time?
Pretty much.
No, it was Tony Hawk's. Okay.
Yeah, graduated from Tony Hawk to Smash. I'm going to say Yeah, it's cool. It's maybe to a certain degree. Like, so once you hit like 75 years old, you're probably going to think, oh yeah, that's not cool anymore. But when you're in your like, let's say mid-20s, it's cool.
Yeah. Brett?
Yeah, it is pretty cool. There's a lot of aspects that aren't cool.
Yeah.
Like getting all
Bills.
paying bills.
Drinking wine's cool though.
Tax.
No, it's not. Red wine sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's cool, but I've been old since I was young, so
Yeah, right. That's so philosophical.
Yeah.
Whereas I always see
No,
myself as young at heart. I don't know.
I'm just always grumpy.
No, but like,
Live, love, learn.
no,
Live, laugh, love. Live, laugh, love. Yeah.
Oh, laugh, yeah, whatever.
Can we get that on the back of the Fire Truck Lizard t-shirt?
Was that Gandhi? I think that was Gandhi.
That was Gandhi.
Martin Luther King. That's-
Martin Luther Gandhi. Number 4. This one is not going to be divisive at all. Pokemon cards.
now,
gonna be
a little
divisive.
divisive. I'm going to take my time with this. They are cool.
that's
Because-
it. Moving on.
I was waiting for him to flip on that.
First edition Charizard, cool. All the other irrelevance, not cool.
yeah, right.
Mewtwo.
Cool. If it's holographic.
Yeah.
They were cool when I was 10. I still have mine now.
I wonder if they're worth anything.
If they are, then they're very cool.
Money. Cool.
Yeah, okay.
Growing up, yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. Don't go out and buy any more though. Just
They
keep
still
what you've got.
they still sell them.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like Pokemon cards, cool. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, also cool. AFL playing trading cards, very cool.
Fraser Garrick, pick one.
The G Train.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards are they're awesome.
Yeah, they're fucking cool.
Nothing better than opening like a packet when you're a kid. Even now, I'll get the same feeling if I opened up a packet and I didn't know what was
It's
in
the
it.
smell for me. The smell.
Yeah.
It's like a bouquet of
Yeah.
just old cardboard. So last one. Finally, we have cool or not cool Coldplay.
Cool. And they've always been cool.
Yeah, I already know what Sean's
This
is
is gonna be
be.
divisive
What?
immediately.
I remember a
come
very
on.
like big rant that Sean once had in the car about Coldplay coming home from the casino when we went to watch the Euros.
From the casino.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to enlighten me on this. It must have been at like 5 a.m.
It was something like that. We were coming out and a Coldplay song came on and on the radio and you changed the station. And I was like, oh, why? And you're like, oh, don't even get me started on Coldplay. And then I was just
I
like,
obviously
oh.
got started.
And he got started. Oh, you got started. We were about 25 minutes from my house and we talked about Coldplay the entire drive home.
What did I say?
That you weren't a fan.
in 25 minutes though.
So what do you think of him now?
I'm more tolerant now, but I'm still going to give him a not cool. That's a hard pass to me. I'm very negative tonight. I usually am. I usually give not
It's the
cools.
wine.
Yeah.
The wine is cool. If you had to put wine on the list, I would have been. It's cool. Kids, learn to drink red wine young. It takes a couple of years, but
get
once you get there, there's no coming back.
I'd like to
Sean
remind you
is-
that we're live and there's no cuts.
Oh no, I intended for this to be aired. Like,
Oh, okay.
Thanks,
red,
Dave.
I don't bleed blood. I bleed red wine. And Mike, you are my brother. You also bleed red wine. We are brothers. We drink red wine. I've had a couple of drinks.
I can
tonight.
tell.
I had a couple of drinks before I came here.
Before you came to your own house.
Yeah. I was at a networking event tonight. There was beers, like free beers. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have some
flowing.
beers. Yeah, the beers are
flowing.
flowing.
Brady, Coldplay, cool or not cool?
Brett.
Yeah.
Brett, sorry. No,
I'll
you
go
already
fuck-
said though.
No, I'll go fuck myself.
Sorry.
Nah, Coldplay are cool. I'm a big fan.
Wow.
Yeah, I like Coldplay.
Yeah, Coldplay are one of the shittest bands I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
What's bad about him?
They are the most generic pop I've ever
Oh,
heard.
as
They
if.
pretty
are
generic.
just Trash.
You
They-
like shoegaze every fucking.
Yeah.
You could overlap
How is
like
that generic?
15 of your favorite shoegaze
yeah.
albums and they all sound identical.
That is true, but I like that sound. I don't like the pop sound.
It's just like 60 minutes of like delayed guitar and complaining. Well,
You sound like it's a bad thing.
That's Brady's life.
Yeah.
How long have you known him for?
yeah, I know.
My life is distortion and sadness. But yeah, no. So not a fan, but they have a huge following, so good on them. All right, so that is episode 1, season 2.
Hit us
In the
up
bag.
on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at The Acid Test.
Yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
hey!